I set New Leaf up a long time ago. My purpose was I wanted to develop something which helped people flourish. It's like I'm one of those people that can always see the growing points in others, you could you see people and you think, ooh, that could grow, or I could kind of see that potential. And I found counselling, often in its rigidity in terms of how it works, kind of wasn't enough for me. I could see its purpose and, trained as a psychotherapist, so a great believer in it. But when I set up New Leaf, I wanted to see where that new growing point was. Where was the new leaf in any situation? How could we move into something different? So, if you like, studying the world of coaching, studying the world of counselling, bringing those worlds together, I could see a way in which I could perhaps help people grow, help businesses grow, help them start something new. What I don't feel I've had the time or the chance to go is to really stand back and look at the structure of the organisation and say, do you know what, we're busy now, we're very busy, in lots of other people's eyes and my own as well, we're quite successful as a company. I've never had the time to really sit back and go, how could we restructure this? How could we make it work? It isn't me anymore. There's lots of us involved in New Leaf, and because of that, it's not my vision. It needs to be a collective vision and not something which I put up on a website and go, come on guys, I want you all to sign up to this, like some sort of mission statement. It's got to be a process of emergence. So when you spoke, I could see a way in which we could emerge, if that makes sense. Yes. I could see that all I needed to do was to let go of the hierarchy that I'd self-created and think about how I might be able to do that differently. I've been inspired by the other people that I've been introduced to who are going through this. That's really helped me in a way of thinking, gosh, if they can do it and they're like further ahead. I think what I've struggled with is there's no template. In a Becky Wright way, I look at a template, decide what I can do to shift it or change it, and then look at how it might work in the business. I've had no template. And what you guys have done as coordinators, as Crucible owners, is that you've been very like, well, why don't you just have a conversation, Becky? Why don't you just see what happens? Why don't you? So what you've asked me to do is to trust the process. So for me, in reinventing organisations, there isn't a structure, there's a process. So rather than trying to control everything and know exactly where we're going to be in 5 years, which is the normal way of the business model, and knowing exactly what everything costs us and knowing, which is where I've come from with my business head, I need to mix that in the Crucible with be more fluid, Becky. I'm still leading because for a while I felt like I wasn't able to. I went through a stage where I felt, no, emergence is very, very different. There's no leaders, there's no hierarchy. But now I see that's actually not true. There has to be a sense of leading. And of course, when I free myself up from this pointless paperwork process, I have more time to do that. I've got much more time to do some of the interesting stuff that when you talk to other leaders, they say, I haven't got time to do that, Becky. How can you have a day in an action learning set? How do you find the time? I work really hard to find the time. It doesn't just happen. But I've had to look at all those systems and let go. And I've got to think about the bigger picture. And I don't mean bigger picture as in we need to make more money, we need to, I have to think, what am I actually doing in this world? How can I make it a better place? Not in a fluffy, unicorned way, but how can I seriously make a difference to the community and the business world? How can I become part of that conduit for making change happen? And of course I can, if I'm in an organisation that mirrors that. I can't if I'm in an organisation where I have to okay everything and not trust that other people can do more of that work. I want to create, now this is exciting, Nick. I think more and more, right, I'm becoming I create spaces where other things grow. The more I get myself out of the way, the more I can see that I actually create the ground more for other businesses to do the same.